Published 1659 Est, the 14th of November 2017. Updated 1946 Est, the 14th of November 2017. A British explorer has vanished on a quest to reach a lost tribe of headhunters. Benedict Allen was dropped by helicopter into the remote jungles of Papua New Guinea 3 weeks ago and has not been heard of since. His wife Lenka is frantic with worry because he is supposed to have started his journey home by Sunday. The 57-year-old father of 3, who has explored the Gobi Desert and the Amazon in a lifetime of adventuring, once eating his own dog to survive, has no phone or GPS device. Adventure Benedict Allen standing in the back in Papua New Guinea with the BBC's Frank Gardner front. Last year Mr. Allen first met the Yafo people 30 years ago as a young explorer, and set off in search of the same guide he met then, hoping to film them for a BBC documentary. He was on a mission to reach the Yafo, a tribe thought to be one of the last on Earth to have no contact with outsiders. They live in the crocodile-infested jungles of East Sepik, a province lacking proper roads and navigable rivers. Documentary Mr. Allen making a film on medicine men in Indonesia. Mr. Allen, who has made 6 TV series for the BBC, was expected back in the capital Port Moresby on Sunday for a flight to Hong Kong to give a speech at its branch of the Royal Geographical Society. His wife Lenka has not heard from him, said his agent Joanna Sarsby. She is very worried. He would never miss something like the Hong Kong talk unless something had happened. He is a highly experienced explorer, very clever and resourceful and adept at surviving in the most hostile places on Earth, and he would never give up. He may not be a young man anymore, but he is very fit. He was trying to reach the Yafo people, a very remote and reclusive tribe, possibly headhunters, quite a scary bunch. Goodness knows what has happened. I just imagine he might have been taken ill or is lying injured somewhere, perhaps with a broken leg, and maybe being helped by locals. He never takes a phone with him. He believes in living like the locals. For him not to come back is really odd. Mr. Allen and his Czech-born wife married in 2007 and have a house in Bristol with their children Natalia, 10, Fred, 7, and Beatrice, 2. Before meeting his wife he briefly dated Mick Jagger's ex-wife, model Jerry Hall. His adventures include the first documented journey the length of the Namib Desert, and being the only person known to have crossed the width of the 1,000-mile Gobi Desert with camels alone. Mr. Allen and his Czech-born wife married in 2007, pictured together above, and have a house in Bristol with their children Natalia, 10, Fred, 7, and Beatrice, 2. Worried sick Mr. Allen's wife Lenka has not heard from him, according to his agent, who said she was very worried. Mr. Allen survived by eating his own dog during a 1982 trek across the Brazilian rainforest. He and the stray, whose paw he had healed, got lost in the jungle. After fleeing gold miners who attacked him, he says they got steadily weaker until I was starving to death. The only thing left was to eat the dog. Earlier this year, BBC Two screened a documentary in which Mr. Allen took BBC correspondent Frank Gardner, who uses a wheelchair, on a perilous journey into the heart of Papua New Guinea in search of rare birds of paradise. The far-flung island nation, just north of Australia, is almost entirely dense jungle. Mr. Allen first met the Yafo people 30 years ago as a young explorer, and set off in search of the same guide he met then, hoping to film them for a BBC documentary. Mr. Allen survived by eating his own dog during a 1982 trek across the Brazilian rainforest. Mr. Allen first met the Yafo people 30 years ago as a young explorer, and set off in search of the same guide he met then, hoping to film them for a BBC documentary. The 57-year-old father of 3, who has explored the Gobi Desert and the Amazon in a lifetime of adventuring, once eating his own dog to survive, has no phone or GPS device, missing in the wild. Before Mr. Allen embarked on his exploration, he took to his blog to tell his followers not to worry if they didn't hear from him. In his final blog post on his website, he wrote excitedly about his latest quest, saying the Yafo are one of the last people on the entire planet who are out of contact with our interconnected world. I'm hiring a helicopter to drop me off at the abandoned mission station, Bisorio, a forlorn place. Last time, the Yafo greeted me with a terrifying show of strength, an energetic dance featuring their bows and arrows. On this occasion, who knows if the UFO will do the same. Nor do I have an obvious means of returning to the outside world, which is somewhat worrying, especially at my advanced age. Either I must paddle down river for a week or so, or enlist the help of the UFO, as I did last time. So, if this website or my Twitter account falls more than usually silent, due back mid-November, it's because I am still out there somewhere. So, don't bother to call or text just like the good old days. I won't be taking a satellite phone, GPS or companion, or anything else much, because this is how I do my journeys of exploration. I grow older but no wiser, it seems. Last night a Foreign Office spokesman said our staff are assisting the family of a British man who has been reported missing in Papua New Guinea, and are contacting the local authorities. On his maiden visit to the country, aged 24, Mr. Allen became the first outsider to undergo a crocodile initiation ceremony. There were no crocodiles, but the initiation involved being held in a small enclosure for 6 weeks and being ceremoniously beaten, leaving him scarred for life with crocodile skin markings.